Have you ever walked into an antique shop or stumbled upon a vintage market and felt that thrill of discovery? The smell of aged wood, the glint of old jewelry, or the craftsmanship of a century-old clock can spark curiosity like nothing else. Antiques and collectibles are more than objects. They're pieces of history, culture, and artistry. Welcome to HowExpert Tip of the Day, where we bring you real-world tips from our how-to guides on all topics from A to Z. If you want to learn even more in-depth strategies, examples, and techniques on this topic, check out How Expert Guide to Antiques and Collectibles, available at Amazon, Audible, Barnes& Noble, Google, Kobo, Apple, Spotify, and all major bookstores as an ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about the treasures hidden in flea markets, understanding antiques can unlock a fascinating world of history, craftsmanship, and value. Today, we'll explore what antiques and collectibles are, why they matter, and how you can identify, evaluate, and appreciate them. 1. Understanding antiques versus collectibles. First, let's clarify the difference. An antique is typically an item over 100 years old that holds historical significance, rarity, or aesthetic appeal. Examples include Victorian furniture, early 20th century paintings, or vintage jewelry. A collectible, on the other hand, may not be that old but is highly sought after due to rarity, nostalgia, or craftsmanship. Think action figures, coins, sports memorabilia, or first edition books. Understanding this distinction helps collectors set realistic expectations, identify trends, and decide where to invest time, money, and energy. The key takeaway: antiques are valued for age and history, while collectibles are often valued for scarcity, cultural relevance, and personal interest. 2. Why collecting matters. Collecting is more than a hobby. It's a way to connect with history, art, and personal identity. Each item tells a story, reflecting the culture, technology, or fashion of its time. Collectors gain a deeper appreciation for craftsmanship, design, and innovation. They also experience a unique thrill, finding a rare item that completes a set or discovering something unexpected at a flea market or estate sale. Beyond personal satisfaction, collecting can also be an investment. Certain antiques and collectibles increase in value over time, making them both enjoyable and financially rewarding. 3. How to start your collection. The first step in collecting is curiosity. Choose a niche that excites you, whether it's vintage jewelry, antique books, mid-century furniture, or retro toys. Research is key. Learn the history, makers, and identifying features of your chosen items. Online databases, collector forums, and books can be invaluable. For example, knowing the markings on a 19th century porcelain figurine can tell you its maker, age, and rarity. Start small. Attend local flea markets, estate sales, or antique fairs. Don't rush. Let your collection grow organically as you learn more about your chosen niche. 4. Identifying authentic antiques and collectibles. One of the most important skills in collecting is spotting authenticity. Counterfeit or misrepresented items are common, so you need to know what to look for. Check for maker's marks, signatures, and stamps. These can indicate origin and authenticity. Examine materials carefully. Solid wood furniture will age differently than cheap reproductions. Look at patina, wear patterns, and construction techniques. Pro tip: learn from experts. Museums, antique dealers, and experienced collectors are invaluable resources. When in doubt, consult an appraiser before making a significant purchase. 5. Valuing your collection. Understanding value is crucial, especially if you plan to buy or sell. Value depends on several factors: age, rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance. An item in pristine condition will usually fetch more than one that's damaged, but sometimes minor imperfections can add charm or authenticity. Rarity also drives value. Limited edition items or those made by famous craftsmen are highly sought after. Research similar items online, attend auctions, and use price guides to get a sense of market trends. Remember, value isn't just monetary. The personal or historical significance of an item can make it priceless in a collector's eyes. 6. Caring for antiques and collectibles. Proper care preserves both value and beauty. Each type of collectible has unique needs. For furniture, maintain stable humidity and temperature to prevent warping or cracking. For jewelry, store in soft-lined boxes and avoid harsh chemicals. Books should be kept away from sunlight and dampness. For fragile items like porcelain or glass, gentle cleaning and careful handling are essential. Documentation is also important. Keep records of purchase, provenance, and appraisals. Not only does this help with insurance and resale, but it also strengthens the historical value of your collection. 7. Connecting with the collector community. Collecting doesn't have to be a solo pursuit. There's a vibrant global community of enthusiasts who share knowledge, tips, and stories. Join local collector clubs, attend conventions, or participate in online forums. Networking can provide early access to rare items, expert advice, and opportunities to trade or sell pieces. The best collectors are lifelong learners. They study, explore, and exchange ideas. Sharing your passion enhances the joy of collecting and helps preserve history for future generations. Let's bring this to life with a story. Emma, a history teacher from Boston, began collecting antique postcards simply because she loved the artwork. Over the years, she learned to identify early 20th century prints, rare stamps, and famous photographers. Her collection grew into hundreds of postcards from around the world, each with its own story. Eventually, she curated an exhibition at a local museum, sharing the beauty and history of her collection with the community. Emma's hobby became more than personal enjoyment. It became a bridge to history, culture, and connection. To recap, antiques and collectibles offer a fascinating way to connect with the past, develop expertise, and create lasting joy. By understanding the difference between antiques and collectibles, starting with a niche, identifying authenticity, valuing items properly, caring for your collection, and engaging with the community, you can turn a simple hobby into a lifelong passion. And here's the mic drop line. Every antique or collectible you discover is a piece of history, and every collector becomes a storyteller. For even more tips, techniques, and practical examples on this topic, check out HowExpert Guide to Antiques and Collectibles, available at Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Noble, Google, Kobo, Apple, Spotify, and all major bookstores as an ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook. HowExpert publishes how-to guides on all topics from A to Z. Visit howexpert.com to learn more.